Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the 𝗿𝗏𝗽𝗀𝗀 International podcast, presented by me, Gideon Ewers, the editor of 𝗿𝗏𝗽𝗀𝗀 International. With me today is none other than Fred North. Fred, of course, is an internet sensation with his extraordinary videos showing clips of the work he's doing in the film world. But Fred's story is a lot longer than that in vertical aviation, and I have to say, if you get a chance to read his book, Flying Sideways, it's an excellent read. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for the presentation. I would love to wake up every day and have that that nice presentation. But thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah. So Fred, your story is an interesting one. I've mentioned about the book and talking. You've seen it all, really. You've through the challenges of supporting things like the Dakar Rally and alpine flying, although maybe that wasn't so much fun.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And I guess this is what's layered up, and you've gained all this experience, and you've got this mentoring program for younger pilots. So I guess, am I right in thinking it's kind of a way of gathering together all this hard-won experience? When I first started flying, an instructor told me, the trick of this is to fill up the cup of experience before you empty the cup of luck.
Yeah,
and it's better if you drink from somebody else's.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
The thing to me is like, personally, what happened is as soon as I finished my license when I was, 20 years old, then I felt really lonely as far as technically, because you get a lot of training and experience shared when you do your license, but as soon as you have your ticket, it's stop.
Yeah.
And all the other pilots don't share anything with you from that point on, for a strange reason. And I don't know if because it's the nature of the beast, or if but even our chief pilot, he rarely will share something technically with you. He will share regulations, he will share, the anything to do with the company you're working for, but he will not share a personal. It's rare that you have, So all my life, I've done so many mistakes that would have been easily avoidable if I had somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Because I've done mistakes that haven't been shared. Like I done the mistake on Monday, and then I done them again on Friday.
Yeah.
Because because of me, of course, but because if I would have someone to talk to, to share those ones and then get a feedback or just guidelines. So anyway, through the course of my life, without realizing this, it just occurred to me like 10 years ago, we need something to help out the young pilots out there, because like the experience that I have, like you saying, all the Dakar and 23,000 hours, I'm just keeping that for myself.
Yeah. And
it's such a big waste. And I'm thinking, there's a lot of accidents and incidents that could be avoidable, because as we know, 90% of helicopter accidents are due to pilot error. Sure. Or human error, okay? Yeah. It's not mechanical. Yeah. It's a human thing. And then I'm thinking, okay, so the regulation that we have today and the system in place by the authorities, they're not preventing those 90%. Okay, so what are they preventing?
Yeah.
The 10%? That's an interesting way to see it. But okay, so what can we do as a pilot to help out for those 90%? Because I don't know if you remember, but last year there were an accident between a helicopter between Palm Springs in California to Las Vegas. It was last year. During the Super Bowl. Yeah. And it was a 𝗂𝗍𝗄𝗃 helicopter with 6 people, and everybody died on board. On board, there were 2 young pilots. They were 25 years old each. What happened at that time? Why did they decide to go at night from Palm Springs to Las Vegas? And when you go through the details of that flight, I'm thinking, what was missing for them to make the decision to not go? Yeah. And everything was organized as far as the regulation. So to me, I'm saying, okay, so the regulation basically put a system in place so you can crash legally. Yeah. Okay? But it did not prevent the accident. Yeah. I'm not saying the mentorship program would, but I was thinking, okay, so if we do something for those guys, which means they need somebody they can talk to before they go.
Yeah.
There's somebody they can text. They can send an email to someone. They can call their mentor.
Yeah.
And after that accident, I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to do the program because I need to do something for, all the young pilots out there. They need support.
Yeah.
Because the regulation, even if it's 1000% important to have it, doesn't prevent those kind of events.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic example, isn't it? That whole thing saying, oh yeah, it's perfectly legal. You know,
exactly.
Fly at night and everything like that. But you're flying over a desert at night. Maybe there's no moon. It's de facto IFR.
No, the weather was not that good that day.
The weather's not good, or it's just suddenly it is. Even if it was severe clear, it's almost de facto IFR.
Everything was legal on that flight.
Yeah.
And even the company put 2 pilots thinking it's going to be safer.
Yeah.
And so so I'm thinking that if those guys had a mentor each, I would hope that they would contact them and say, hey, I have to do that flight. The weather is not that great. We think we can do it, but what do you think?
Yeah.
And we're trying in the program now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
We're trying to pair mentors and mentees I'm trying to do it in the same region.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're from Switzerland, I'm going to try to put someone in that region. At the same time, if the mentee is asking me that he's living in Switzerland, but to a point he wants to explore Europe and be a long line pilot, I may pair the guy with a long line pilot from Spain.
Yeah.
But it's a very open,
it's an
open program, and it's a worldwide program. So to come back to the roots of it, so since that accident, then we decided, okay, let's do the program. So we can have experienced mentors that can follow in a very confidential way. It's very important, that part for me, because I'm thinking that there is a lot of safety management program all over, everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's within the company each time. The problem, it's a great program. Okay, it's an amazing program. I think just the missing little link in those programs, it's the confidentiality that is an issue. Okay, if you make a mistake, let's say you touch the tail boom, like a little bit, tack a little click something, but nothing happened. Okay, you just touch it. Then technically you have to report it to the system. Okay, chief pilot or the SMS. But a lot of pilots won't do that because of the consequences and the fear of getting fired or misjudged. And even if the system is technically built to not have those repercussions, but we know they do. So then they don't say anything.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, okay, so that mentorship program can help there. So if you make a mistake, you can tell your mentor, I fucked it up on Monday.
Yeah.
I did that. What do you think? And then the pilot will say, the mentor, I did the same mistake, but you need to do this and this and this, so for this to not happen again. But it will be in a very trustworthy conversation, a confidential conversation, and a very technical conversation. And I'm thinking that person is going to learn so much from it, and it is not going to do the same mistake again.
Yeah.
Because he has somebody to talk to without judgment or fear of
it's that
repercussion.
Thing, isn't it? Like, hey, I screwed up, and I got away with it.
Yes.
But here's what happened.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
And this to avoid a bigger problem.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, even myself at my age and my experience, it's hard for me to talk to someone about doubts that I can have. It's not just for 25 years old.
Yeah.
And luckily I have a few friends that I can share openly, my fear and my some mistake I make. I think it's really something missing in our industry.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, that's the critical thing. That's what, when I heard about the program, I thought, yeah, great idea, because it's exactly that. That ability. Or you have a thing where especially if anyone, actually any age, as you say, where you have your boss says, oh, we've got this charter, it's this, and you think, well, I don't know, but I want to keep my job. It's easy to say, isn't it? My life's worth more than my job, until it is your job.
No, for sure. Because we don't realize that it's a tricky. The problem is, if the chief pilot is a very humble and a good soul, you can go to him because he will be finessing that, and he won't throw the guy under the bus.
Yeah.
He will really help him. But there is only a few of those guys.
Yeah.
you know. And to me, you know, most of the chief pilots I had to deal with, they were not easy to approach.
Yeah.
You know, I was unexperienced, and I was doing stupid stuff, and there was no way I would have gone to that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm thinking, you know, if I had a mentor at the time, really I would avoid doing so many other mistakes, and I'm lucky to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking, you know, that if we can do with that program, which is a worldwide program, by the way, there is no agenda, no politics. We take pilots from all around the world, from Russia to Pakistan to Afghanistan to France, Germany, England, everywhere, Colombia. It's a worldwide program. I need mentors and mentees from all around the world, because right now, like I have mentors in India, in Turkey, in Pakistan, but I don't have mentees.
Yeah.
So I need, you know,
to build that network. So,
right.
I mean, if people are listening to this and they say, "Oh, this is something I need to be involved in," how can they go about getting involved in the program?
So there's a website called the 𝗂𝗏𝗏 Safety and Mentorship Program. They go on the website. It's very easy. There's one click for the mentor, one click for the mentee, and that's it. You just click on the one you want to be part of, and then there's a little form, a page. You put your name, you fill up a few things, and then that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then we get it, and then we're gonna pair you with the mentor, or vice versa, that we're gonna give you the most the most of it.
Yeah, sure.
And I have to say, I've been talking. We pair already like 300 pilots already, and it's just the beginning of the program right now, and we need help from even, let's say you don't want to be mentors for a reason, but you can, you know, carry on the program to someone. Do it, because I really want to touch as many, you know, pilots as possible.
Yeah.
And all the mentors that I talk to that are not part of the program, they're very happy to do it. They're telling me, you know, I've given so many guidance to that mentee, to that person. I didn't realize how much I know,
Yeah.
and how much you know, I can give to a mentee.
Yeah.
Because we know so much, and
it's there,
but we think that we don't know, but we know so much, you know what I mean. And then a few guidance just for your medical exam, for, you know, we know that 99% of pilots have the flu. Are they going to call their doctor to say that the flu to not fly? Yeah, right. Yeah, so right. You can call your mentor and say, you know, I have a little flu, what do you think? And then, you know, common sense will prevail, and he will give guidance. But it just, you know,
those kind of things, even down to that, a simpler thing. I don't know, I don't feel that great today.
Right, or my ear clogged, so then maybe you should not go. You know, you should maybe, you know, should wait a day or two. Because the regulation sometimes, to me, is considered as an enemy instead of being a team player. You know, because it's so heavy. Yeah. When I see at the EASA regulation versus the one in the with the FAA, I see the differences between the two. Both of them have the same goal, safety. But sometimes safety, the way it is structured in the regulation, it's not really connected to reality. You know, like sometimes, like EASA will force me to use a twin-engine helicopter to do my job, okay? And let's say I'm in the middle of the city, okay, but I'm above the river, okay, and I'm applying to EASA saying I would love to fly a single-engine helicopter because that's what I need for that job, but I'm going to stay over the river. I will never fly above the public, and the river will be controlled. It'll be ITC, you know, intermittent traffic control. There'll be no boats, no public, but even though I'll be forced to use a twin engine. Okay, now what happened? I have to use an underpowered helicopter. I'm distracted with all the instrumentation on board and the limitation from the gauges. But what I mean, the regulation, trying to do the best, but I'm forced to use a machine that is not really.
That's not ideal. You're not. It doesn't have
the power.
It's not something that, like an old pair of shoes you're putting on.
No.
It's all of that.
It's also heavier. It's more bulky and more sensitive to the torque management, all that stuff. So I'm saying that because I'm taking that as an example, because sometimes the regulation doesn't go in the right direction. They want to do good, and in their mind, it's a twin engine is better for you. But why, you know, pilots are more involved.
Yeah, I think it's that thing, isn't it, with the things like the assumptions, and there may be a little archaic assumptions. Are twins safer because you can lose one? Yeah, but engines are more reliable. That kind of thing.
I agree. I agree.
And if you're in a hover and a twin and you're pulling more than 50% torque and you lose one,
then you're going down anyway, and
99.9%
you will be over the 50%.
Yeah.
So so the mentorship program is like, okay, so we need to also take things in our own hands.
Yeah.
Okay, we cannot just wait for the regulation to protect us.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's very important, it's there. But I wish sometimes that pilots can be more involved in the decision they're making to try to explain to them that what they think it's safer, it's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
And I know some of them are really good guys, they're really trying to help in the 𝗂𝘗𝗃. But when I see the FAA is more a practical approach.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think at the FAA there is a lot more pilots involved, versus in the 𝗂𝘗𝗃 there is less. Now I don't want to do I love what 𝗂𝘗𝗃 is also trying to do, but the mentorship program, I would love like 𝗂𝘗𝗃 to endorse it.
Yeah.
So I'm sending a message out there, trying to help us because we have the same goal.
Yeah.
So I really want, to me the mentorship program, it should be something that is mandatory.
Yeah.
Why we don't have a mentor when we got out with a license?
When you get this is your,
Because helicopter pilots, most of them, they by themselves.
Yeah.
We don't have a co-pilot with us that can help you, a captain.
I was going to say exactly that. Again, is it the nature of helicopter operations versus fixed wing, where you have an experienced
single
captain,
pilot,
single pilot
operation
out of the box.
So you get your license when you think about it, okay, and then you do whatever you can do to get to those 300 hours to get a tour job, okay. So during those 300 hours, it's kind of the bullshit 300 hours where you do your CFI, your IFR. You don't even need all that stuff, but you just do that. Because you need the 300 hours. And then from that point on, you captain in command in a helicopter, you carry people with 300 hours, and it's all good. It's legally good.
It's all fine.
Right. But why we don't have a mentor at that point? It's super important to have a mentor those first 10 years.
Yeah. It's that whole thing, isn't it? It's like, when a pilot's most dangerous, it's just statistically proven. 100 hours, 500 hours, 1,000.
Yeah.
Because there's these points where.
But legally it's fine. Legally it's fine. So it's just okay. So what can we do? And to me, if anybody from 𝗂𝘗𝗃 is or FAA, by the way, are hearing us, I would love them to help us with the mentorship program and just to put something in place that at least the person coming out of the school will have a choice.
Yeah.
To get a mentor.
Yeah.
The person don't want to take a mentor, it is what it is. But but at least it would be there.
Yeah.
And
that option would be there.
Today it's not.
Yeah.
And there's so many. A lot of young pilots ask me very simple question, so I've just finished all my training. I'm going to be a pilot tomorrow. I don't know if I want to do offshore or long line. And to me, it's like two different worlds that has nothing to do with each other. Really, it's like if you tell me you want to be an engineer or you want to be a race car driver.
Yeah.
Dude, it's not
the same.
So you really don't know anything.
Yeah.
And I think the mentorship program and also give guidance to those pilots. To me, I always asking them, are they more instinctive or are they more technical as a person? Because if you're instinctive, you should go to utility, firefighting, search and rescue, mountain rescue, long line, because you're going to be flying with your instinct. You're going to connect with the machine. If you're more technical, to me, you're more processing, protocol, IFR, bigger machine, and you're more like an operator, and you are going to assessing that technology. And you're going to be operating your aircraft as such. But if your personality, is going to go with your job, you're going to be excellent at it. But if those guys, let's say it's an instinctive guy, and then he goes to the offshore, then he's just going to be one of those guys. He's not going to be excellent at it. And also, I think if your personality is matching your job, you're going to be safer.
Sure.
Because you're going to make the right decision.
Naturally. Natural extension.
Exactly. So the mentorship program is also there to give them guidance, to also expand the network. Let's say if you tell me that you want to be a long line pilot, then I will pair you with a guy that's an expert at it.
Yeah.
And then he will help you with network. He will help you with jobs. He will help you with your training. It's not just,
It's
it's
more than that.
Yes.
It's that, Jedi Master to,
It's-
the student type of thing.
Yes.
It's that whole progression thing. And then ultimately the torch passes on again,
No, 1000%.
Yeah.
And the other thing we want to do with the program is when there is an incident or an accident, the pilots don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say, 𝗬𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗃 and the machine goes off to the side. Everybody got out, but one person has a problem with something, then the pilot most of the time say, it's my fault, I'm so sorry, and do that, because pilot will take usually responsibilities. But sometimes it could have been something from the outside and he doesn't know at that time.
Yeah.
But the problem by saying it's his fault, then now the lawyers is done.
Lawyers on it, yeah.
Okay, so because I heard a few months ago there is a pilot in Canada, he's 50 or 55 years old. He had an incident and nobody died on that accident, but there was maybe an injured person or whatever. But I heard that through the course of all the court issues, the lawsuits that went on, he's about to lose his house.
Oh wow!
And at 55 years old, and the guy never had any accident in his life. He's a great guy, and I'm thinking, what can we do to help those guys? Because as a pilot, we may go through, trauma like that.
Yeah.
It's part of the business model, unfortunately, and I'm hoping it will never happen.
Yeah.
But if it does happen, I would love this program to help out on some basic guidance. That's the first thing you need to do is this, and that for incident and for accidents.
Sure.
Then it's up to each person. But I would love to help out, for pilots that have, complication like that. Yeah.
Fred, I mean, we could talk all day, I'm sure.
Yes.
And to me, it sounds like a fantastic initiative, and I would urge anyone who's listening to, especially if you're a very experienced pilot, join the program. If you're a learner pilot, join the program. If you're a recently qualified pilot, join the program. As Fred's already told you, it's a very easy process. You just go to the website, click on the appropriate button, and join the community. So
It's
Fred,
also free. It's free.
also free.
Okay.
So what? Hey, everybody loves free, right?
And I need to thanks, by the way, we have two partners right now. Airbus just joined the program yesterday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, so they're going to be helping us because they have all the network worldwide. So they're going to help us really, really promote the program. And so that's a big deal. And then we have also Rotor Trade. They're one of the biggest selling helicopters and buying helicopters all around the world. They've been the ones supporting us from the beginning. So, and I need partnership, because right now it's everything out of pocket on my own. So I'm super happy to have Airbus helping us. But anyone that can help us with even $50, $500, whatever partner, they'll have their name on the program. I'm hoping to have insurance company also endorsing the program.
Good for them.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Even if I'm going to tell you that when I went to the helicopter convention in Holland last November, there was one of the biggest helicopter insurance in the world that came to me, and he said, your program is a terrible idea, because if there's no crash, we don't make any money. And I said, okay, so that means we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I could not believe that he told me that. He told me that seriously.
Really?
Yes, and I was with my wife, and I said, am I dreaming here? But anyway, I'm saying that, and this is why pilots need guidance when something happens, because the machine comes, against us.
The whole system.
Right, comes here. So anyway, it's a little joke, but
Again, listen, anyone listening, you've heard the ways to get involved with the program. I would urge you to. It sounds like a super duper initiative, and one that's long overdue. So Fred, again, thanks for spending the time with us this morning.
You're welcome.
Two things then, closing out. This has been another edition of the Road Hub International podcast, recorded at Verticon in Dallas. We'll see you the next time. Until then, fly safe and keep the blue side up.